and welcome to our gold participants from around the world. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Public Relations Manager and MC for Gold Learning. I'm here chatting today with Laurel Wilson. Welcome, Laurel. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here.
And Laura will be speaking at upcoming Gold Perinatal Online Conference. She is going to be addressing the placenta and breast milk, unraveling the mysterious world of the intelligent organs that protect our babies. Well, it's great to have you back here at Gold, Laurel, and this is by far, an upcoming area that we're starting to see more and more families addressing. I think that there's a lot of demand on healthcare professionals today to actually know some more of this information. So it's absolutely delightful that you are studying this to bring to our listening audience.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk about some of the new information about how similar the placenta and breast milk really are.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. So, but first of all, before we get ahead of ourselves here, why don't you introduce, or for the first time, or reintroduce yourself to our listening audience? Tell them a little bit about yourself and really why you wanted to speak on this subject.
Sure. So I have been a childbirth educator for, a couple of decades, and I've been a lactation consultant as well during that time. And so I've always had a love of how our bodies work and they're created. And then I've also really had a fascination with breast milk. And when I started to look at the placenta. I've always loved the placenta. I thought it was a really interesting organ. And when some of the new research started coming out about the fact that the placenta was actually an intelligent organ, and in a way, through neural tissue, it's actually thinking on its own and has its own kind of process to protect the baby just as breast milk does, it started to really excite me. So I wanted to create a presentation that really showed how very similar the protective and the developmental properties are for both of these organs that are so unique to mammals and to helping protect our children for really, interestingly, the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating that it's kind of, for the longest time, it seems like it completely discarded in our field. And now it's making a big comeback. And now we've got to figure out, what, how we're going to treat it.
Hmm?
Some people have a lot of respect for it, others still not. But ultimately, like you said, it's an organ, it's an intelligent organ, and I know for you and I, it's something that we get quite a bit of demand from our clients. So it's great that finally there's some really good things that are coming out. The research is certainly there, so I'm excited that you're able to present on this for sure.
Yeah,
So
I'm very
yeah,
excited too.
that's great. I have another question for you, and it's really about the time that you've spent in this field. And I know that you've long-standing in the maternal child health field, but perhaps you can address for us some of the things that have been either challenging or interesting to you over the last few years about the changes that you've seen in this specific area, and how are they developing to date for you?
Sure. So I think when I first started teaching parents and working with parents specifically, we didn't even think of the placenta and actually we kind of weren't even really valuing breast milk to the degree that we do today, seeing them actually as unique organs. We kind of thought of breast milk just as nourishment instead of an entire organ that protects us for the rest of our life. And the same thing with the placenta. I mean, for the majority of people in Western worlds, we're simply discarding it. And over the past couple of decades, we've really started to see a resurgence in kind of an honoring of both of these organs, of how really amazing and fantastic they are to, I started to see in the late 90s and early, like 2000 to 2005, people starting to save their placentas. They were doing a lot of interesting things like making artwork with them, placental prints. They were burying them in their backyard and planting trees around them, but they were doing a lot more honoring. And now even we're starting to see a return of placentophagy where people actually will eat their placentas and or make them into certain pills, which this presentation is not specifically about placentophagy, but it is an interesting jump from where we used to just throw them away to now we have this a lot more honoring around the process. And in terms of breast milk, we used to we just wanted moms to breast milk, and now we're starting to have such a reverence for breast milk today that we even have seen a rise in not only donor milk banks that help protect our most fragile babies around the world in the NICU, and also even for adults who can't tolerate certain other foods. But we're starting to see peer to peer milk sharing because people value and understand how important it is. So we've really seen a change in how we treat both of these really important organs.
Yeah, I find it absolutely fascinating that there are the realism is that the changes are happening, I think sometimes faster than the science can keep up. The
Yes.
research is coming, but the changes are happening really quickly. And so, in our field, it's causing a lot of conversation, which is great because, communicating about these certain things and the demand of the consumer, the families are demanding to know more, and that's really great. But the arguments are, withstanding because of course the research isn't there. So I'm truly excited to see what the research is producing.
Hmm.
And obviously to keep up to date so I can can keep up with those conversations, with
Right.
peers and of course the consumer, because they're certainly asking, and I'm keen to know exactly what's happening. So appreciate certainly that I know you're very dedicated to this area, Laurel, and it's great, and I appreciate that about you for sure. Uh,
Great.
One more thing I want to ask you before I let you go, is really to give us, well, tell me a little bit about what you're excited to share. Don't give too much away, of course, because
Sure.
of course, we want people to give away, and we want it to be mysterious, so that they come and spend time with you, because I think there's so much to learn in this area. But what's the most exciting thing, or one of the things that you're really looking forward to sharing with our listening audience?
Well, I'm really hoping to share all of the things that the placenta and breast milk actually deliver to the baby based on the environment. So,
Mm.
I'll talk about all those different things, the neuropeptides and all the hormones and everything that they are actually interacting with our environment and then sharing with our baby. So, I think for me that is one of the most exciting things, is how intelligent these organs really are and how unique they are to each baby.
Well, to me, it's so fascinating that we can put the word intelligent organs next to placenta and breast milk now. I think
I
we've come a
know.
long way. We've come so
Exactly.
far, and it's absolutely fantastic that we're able to, line them up in that area. So that's awesome. Well, thank you
Hmm.
so much, Laura Wilson. Great to
You.
sit down with you and chat about your upcoming presentation at Gold Perinatal Online Conference. The title is The Placenta and Breast Milk: Unraveling the Mysterious World of the Intelligent Organs that Protect Our Babies. So looking forward to that. Thank you again for sitting down with us today.
Great. Always a pleasure.
And thank you to our listening audience for tuning in. And we'll look forward to having you again. Bye bye for now.